Today we have signed this agreement with the Maritime Blue Cluster in Washington, and I think this is a very good foundation for us to bring further close collaboration with Washington State and the Maritime Cluster there, which share much of the same ambitions and goals as we do for a more sustainable maritime industry.
We are just ecstatic. Be able to build on the relationships that we've already had over the last coming year or even more. Be able to formalize this and see a path forward. Already seeing some respective businesses come back and forth between Norway and Washington, across Washington, Seattle, Anacortes, and elsewhere.
I'm a strong believer in clusters, as you know. I'm also a strong believer in innovation that comes out of clusters. But we are talking now global industry, so clusters need to interact. And OECD talks about networks of networks, and to me that is clusters connecting.
As we were putting together our statewide strategy for the blue economy, how we're going to accelerate innovation, we looked also about how do we implement it. And we found this cluster model to be the most effective, and we quickly came right to the NCE Maritime CleanTech cluster as a model for how we actually work on projects.
Yeah, I think he found two things. When you look at the ocean clusters in Norway, Norway has the strongest ocean cluster in the world, so it's the right place for that. But I think he also liked our models of development clusters.
We have been a cluster for almost 10 years, and they are newly established. And we have shared our experiences.
Well, what I've seen really valuable is the NCE Maritime CleanTech cluster has been actually completing projects.
Our partners are very interested in this market because they are going to electrify the fleet in Washington. We also share some of the same cluster participants, in fact.
Wärtsilä, DNVGL, Corvus, and other Norwegian companies like Kongsberg are already shared members. We're already doing work across that space, and yet there are more opportunities.
We need to define now projects, not simply peace and friendship, but real content, technology development, customer development, entrepreneurship, things like that. The venture capital and entrepreneurship is so strong in the West Coast. If we can combine that with some of the environmental technology in maritime we have here, there may be some new things coming out of that.
And so there's a lot of opportunity, certainly for Norwegian-based companies as our market is growing where there's expertise here, but as well as our Washington-based companies see the expertise that they can bring back to bring into this mix.